Really, for me, the way my as you said, my career took a straight vertical path,
Absolutely.
straight up. I think I did something like 53 transactions in my first year.
That's crazy. And so, so if Cape Breton's the limit, you drive 3 or 4 hours either way to help these people with houses. And
that's true.
Tell me about that philosophy, because that's certainly not the way in which a lot of realtors think.
Yeah, so I got a lot of resistance on that from colleagues and some of my team members in the beginning, because I was going too far outside of my area.
Yep.
The way I looked at it, I actually like to drive.
Yeah.
I find it's very soothing for me.
Yeah.
Get a lot of work done in the car with the Bluetooth office. But if it was an Ontarian reaching out, then I wanted to service them if I could.
Yeah.
I had tried, with some of the South Shore, Glasgow, Cape Breton. I tried in the beginning to work like relationships with colleagues, but what happened is you end up using 3 or 4 or 5 different realtors, because a lot of out of province folks aren't decided on an area. You can only have one referral fee going out, so I did that for a while, and then agents started telling me.
Super excited about today's game of pool and interview with my good friend Kevin Scott. Kevin has an amazing story about his start in real estate. So Kevin relocated from a different province to here to Nova Scotia, and in his first calendar year did 53 transactions. Unbelievable. Kevin is known for his ability to kind of handle anyone across the province. He'll go anywhere. He continues to grow his business as well, and he'll talk about being on a team that was a Chairman's Club level team in the Royal LePage system, so top 1% of the Royal LePagers across the country, to now having sort of left that partnership and starting his own team and growing that. We got lots of lessons we can learn from Kevin, and we'll see how many lessons I can learn on the pool table as well. So look forward to it, and I hope you enjoy it as well. Kevin, thanks for coming in, buddy. I'm looking forward to playing some pool today and talk a little bit about your real estate career. It's nice to see you.
Same. Looking forward to it too.
Absolutely. So let's get started just talking a little bit about sort of the start of your business, actually. Tell me a bit about what you were doing before you got into the real estate business and kind of what led you into this career.
So before I got into real estate, I was living in Toronto, in Ontario, and I'd gone there in 1997 to go to school.
Yep.
Studied print media business, and that's what I ended up getting into. So I was working for the 4th largest print media company in North America with about $4 billion annually in sales. And I was in sales and marketing and business development for them. So it was a great career. I loved it, made lots of connections, learned to sell in that environment, obviously, with a big corporation. So that's what I was doing.
And so you decided at some point that wasn't the path for you any longer, and so now you're selling real estate in Nova Scotia, which is a long way from Toronto and a long way from print media sales. So what was the kind of path from one to the other?
Yeah, so I went through a restructuring with the company I was at. So they offered some packages up to some of us, and I decided to take it. I was starting to get a little bit burnt out from that industry, and being from the East Coast, I always had planned to get back here at some point in time, and got introduced to the Valley and just fell in love with it. So decided to take the package and come back here. Cool. And never looked back.
And how far are you into the business at this point?
So I'd be in my year 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Of real estate, yeah.
And I ask this question of everyone is, was it a fast start or a slow start? But I know you well enough to know that it's been a fast start for you. So tell me, what do you kind of attribute the fast start to in your business?
So I think for me, because I had that 20 plus years in sales and marketing, and I had over 2,000 connections in Ontario and my Toronto business there. When I arrived here, I had purchased a 9-acre farmhouse, and I took like the first 10 months sort of to renovate that completely. And as I was doing that, I started to see, this is COVID now, and I started to see lots of Ontarians, friends of mine, former colleagues and things getting interested in Nova Scotia. And I had, renovated and flipped a lot of properties in Ontario.
Okay.
And I thought to myself, who better to sell properties in Nova Scotia to Ontarians than me?
Love it. Yeah, absolutely, I love that.
So that's what I did. I went and got licensed, did the course online, decided on coming to Royal LePage, Atlantic, and that was it. So really for me, the way my as you said, my career took a straight vertical path,
Absolutely.
straight up. I think I did something like 53 transactions in my first year.
That's crazy.
That was basically just marketing. I built a marketing plan for myself online. It was on a Facebook group, actually, called Ontario to Nova Scotia.
Okay.
When I joined it, there was about 400 people on it, hardly any realtors.
Okay.
And I just started marketing myself there.
That's cool.
And happened pretty quickly. Like, people just started gravitating and grabbing onto that.
Maybe if we could just pause on that for a minute. Like, what were you talking about in that group? Were you explicitly saying, like, I'm a realtor, I can service? Were you just talking about the province of Nova Scotia? Were you talking about houses that you were listing? Like, what was the content that was going into that group?
So, because I had just started in real estate, so I wasn't talking about houses that I just listed because I had no listings.
Yeah.
So really, I just laid it out there. Like, this is my background. Okay. I spent 22 years in Ontario. Yeah. I have a renovation background. I have 20 plus years of sales and marketing. I'm a licensed realtor in Nova Scotia. I just made the move. I know how to do it. Yeah. I know how to set you up. I know contractors, electricians, everything for people coming. And I just built like a full service package, and that's what people really liked.
And do you remember sort of the first bite you got on that?
I do. So I started in real estate on September 6th of 2021.
Yep.
And I had put that platform out probably within the first 2 weeks.
Yes.
And within 3 weeks, I was already doing multiple showings a week for multiple different buyers. Yeah. And I wrote my first offer on the Thanksgiving long weekend.
Is that right?
In the office. So this would have been like 3-4 weeks after I started.
Cool. That's awesome.
And in the office, I had never used web forms. I had never used DocuSign. Yeah. There was nobody in the office to support me.
We're middle of COVID, right?
I was working on a Mac, and it wasn't really compatible to the software. So it took me 3 hours to write that first offer. Yeah. But then I wrote it, and it was a really nice property. Got accepted, and then from that point on, I was I guess if you look at my average, I was doing a transaction a week.
That's crazy.
In the first year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, love it. And so certainly lots of people did well during that COVID period, right? And,
yes.
And you took advantage of the time. You know what I mean? I would say that was a bit of a momentum trend, and so good for you for spotting that. Yeah. We're now post-COVID in a world where the market has slowed down, but you have not. And so, let's talk about kind of where your business comes from today versus kind of that. Is it still a lot of Ontario to Nova Scotia, or is it now you have a whole series of ways in which business comes to you?
Yeah, so the business is less on that Facebook group now because sort of what happened with me being a 100% buyer's agent in that first year, I only had a handful of listings. Okay. In my year 2, it started to sort of reverse. So in year 2, I got maybe to 50-50 on listings versus buy side only. Yep. But what I started to see in the year 2 was people who had come to Nova Scotia prior to me being licensed, or even while I was licensed, who didn't buy from me. And a lot of them were going back to Ontario for a variety of reasons. I mean, that we could shoot a whole other show on that.
Absolutely, totally.
But, heading back for a variety of reasons. And they were now starting to reach out to me to list their properties instead of the people they bought from or bought with. I think because my reputation had now developed as, one of the premier agents in Nova Scotia to help Ontarians. So people were reaching out. So that was sort of my second year. But I just continued on with my marketing, presentation for myself. So as I was doing transactions with people from Ontario, then now they were referring me to their friends, colleagues, family members. So I would sometimes do 4 or 5 transactions within the same sphere of influence of friends there. And of course, referral business from, as you know, making Chairman's Club in our first year as a team, my old team.
Yeah, that's right.
Started to get now a referral business from colleagues in Ontario who are Chairman's Club members as well, and also referral business from realtors in Ontario who weren't even with Royal LePage.
Yeah.
So I've done with EXP, I've done with Exit,
Amazing.
I've done with Remax. People reaching out just from they know that I help
your reputation.
Yeah, exactly.
So one of the things I would say, you certainly felt pressure to, would be my guess, and maybe it was always part of your path, but you are known for, I'll go anywhere in the province, right? You're one of those people who uses the entirety of their license to get anywhere, right? And so, so if Cape Breton's the limit, you drive 3 or 4 hours either way to help these people with houses. And
that's true.
Tell me about that philosophy, because that's certainly not the way in which a lot of realtors think.
So I got a lot of resistance on that from colleagues and some of my team members in the beginning, because I was going too far outside of my area. The way I looked at it, I actually like to drive. I find it's very soothing for me. Get a lot of work done in the car with the Bluetooth office. But if it was an Ontarian reaching out, then I wanted to service them if I could. I had tried, with some of the South Shore, New Glasgow, Cape Breton. I tried in the beginning to work like relationships with colleagues, but what happened is you end up, using 3 or 4 or 5 different realtors, because a lot of out-of-province folks aren't decided on an area. You can only have one referral fee going out, so I did that for a while, and then agents started telling me no, right? Because we all value our time. So that was sort of my wanting and my need to set up a team, was to have team members in each pocket of Nova Scotia that could handle these buyers and stuff. So
I'm going to talk about team for sure, because you've had lots of experience with that for sure.
I do.
So, tell me a little bit about what you now do to keep in touch with that database of people that you've met. You're talking about 50, 60 transactions a year. That in and of itself over 4 years is a couple hundred people, plus all the other connections that you have. Like, walk me through how you kind of keep in touch with the database, what kind of things you do to reach out, how you just simply functionally manage it. Like, talk to me about a little bit about that.
So that was always a challenge, because my start was so sort of fast. That would be one of my biggest regrets, was I did not have time to build the processes in the back end, which is what most realtors would do first. Get all of that stuff and then just go. But I was the opposite. I just went, and the transactions were coming, and I had no sort of back end processes to support that. So that was a real challenge. I did struggle with a couple of CRM programs. I started out with RLP Sphere, and then I went over to a different one. Didn't really like that. I switched back to RLP Sphere, and then that sort of just stayed for a couple of years without a whole lot of things going into it. But about mid last year, I did dive into RLP Sphere, and I said, I got to make this work for me. And with my assistant situation had fluctuated too over the last couple of years, but I have a great one now. Her name's Michelle, and she's really taken that over. So we're really committed now to doing all the touch points. We're doing regular mail merges through that. Anniversary dates, birthdays, all those things are going through the RLP Sphere now. So, and I'm one of these guys, I'm on the road all the time, so I'm often just popping in to see, clients uninvited, and they're always happy to see me usually. But because when I'm in the area, I'll just knock on a door and I'll drop something off, or say hello, or chat with them and the kids and things like that.
I think people kind of miss that as an opportunity. That is an opportunity to kind of door knock, for lack of a better description. It's not a cold door knock, like you've never met the person. It's just stopping to say hi to someone that you already have in your network, and way easier of a conversation to get into. So
100%.
Good for you. So, how do you? I mean, I would say you're also one of the people I know for most strictly managing your time. I know it's probably a challenge every day, but you pack more into a day than the average human does. And so, like, how do you build prioritization into your day?
That's a great point. So, probably about 4 months ago, I engaged one of the top coaching teams in the United States there. It's called the Workman Group, for a Workman. And one of his guys did a deep dive on my time for all of last year. And what I found out, which was really gross actually, that I had spent about 800 hours in non-income generating activities. So that was a huge eye-opener for me. That what that meant, it sounded the alarm bells, that I was spending too much time doing things that I really shouldn't be doing.
100%.
And that's when I really focused on, investing in a top level admin person. Great. So now, Michelle is handling all of that stuff, like all of the compliance, paperwork flow throughs, doing Canva designs and things. It's been huge in that respect. So, it was hard just trying to do so much. And that's why I was working 18 hours a day, because it was paperwork time at night when I would finally get home. Yep. And that was tough. So now my time is spent on doing what I do best, which is selling and making client connections and building those relationships, which for me are generally, lifelong. Right?
It's so funny that, and I've kind of remarked on this in my time sort of working with realtors, is that presumably in the $4 billion company that you were working for, there was some support for you in that respect, right?
Yes.
And then we come here and we're so independent, there's a reluctance to add that support back in, because you sort of feel it directly coming out of your pocket for a lot of people.
Yes.
But once you do that time audit, like that you were compelled to do by your coaching work there, that to me it is eye-opening.
Yeah.
Really. The only audit that I've ever done that was more eye-opening than doing a time audit, I did a 2-week time audit once and just wrote down everything, was I once audited how much I spent on booze in university.
Yeah.
That was quite eye-opening.
Did that
as well.
too.
Not good. Not
No.
good. Yeah. That was
it's
at
a car payment for
a
most
year
people.
of tuition for sure. So let's talk a little bit about team for sure. So you were a part of a team, and now have kind of gone a different direction and are kind of lead a team now.
Yeah.
The team that you're a part of, I would describe as kind of 3 peers working together in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
How did that come together, and what was the benefit for you out of that initially? Anyway.
So that would have been, I guess, partway through my first year. I started talking a lot with my mentor at the time, Kathy Whitewood was her name. Yeah. And I was so busy, and I really needed some support. Like a lot of agents that are busy that could use the support of a team. Kathy was an individual agent, so her and I started talking, and we thought, we should look at forming a team next year.
Cool.
And that's sort of how it started, and then we brought in a third partner. So we started with three partners in our team, and in our first year as a team, in 10.5 months, we made the top 1% in the country. So that was unexpected and super exciting. Yeah. And we did even better in the following year. Yeah. So, but for me, I found it tough with partners because I'm not to say I'm an individualist, but I like to do things the way I want to do them. Yeah. And I found without being the team lead on that team, even though I was a partner, I was handcuffed to do the things like I'm doing currently, which is branding, scaling, growing, and just being able to just call all the shots, right? Which is really what I want to do.
A lot of people underestimate that part of why they got into the business is that they, specifically are looking to kind of be the master of their own ship, for lack of a better description, and so, partnering there, you really do have to spend a lot of time and energy working on compromise, let's say, right? Yeah. And if you've come from a corporate background or a professional background where you've had to do that a lot, again, this is the appeal of this business, is that I got to kind of call the shots on my own. So you almost, there are people who stay on the teams for too long because they don't want to sound selfish by saying, hey, listen, I want to call the shots here, right? Yeah. And so, I would applaud you and your team members for having an open conversation to decide, hey, this might not be, even though it's gone well, there might be another direction that I want to go just for satisfaction purposes. Right?
Yeah, so, for sure.
That's great. Yeah. And now you're embarking upon growing another team where you are the team lead, and presumably there's a little bit more leadership that you get to provide to that. So tell me about that and what your thoughts are around that.
Yeah, so that's been a lot of fun, a lot of work too, because it sort of happened in March, April when the real estate season was just kicking off. Yeah. So I left a successful team and started my own, and I thought actually that my business would take a huge retraction just with that gap, but it was actually the opposite. Yep. I did engage a top-notch branding company in Toronto to handle all of the branding and the launch and the website and the social media, and that was a huge expense. But the way I looked at it was, you know what, I'm going to do this top-notch because this is my background is marketing. I want to present myself as an expert in that field. And, I figured it's 3 or 4 transactions. If I can get 3 or 4 more transactions with this spend, then it's all going to be worth it. And, I ended up getting more than 3 or 4 transactions, and still working on it, right? Because this is just so new. So, just last night I had someone reach out about a listing that came through my website.
Great.
Saw the branding, and so that's it.
Well, the beauty of branding too, and when you do that work, it's amortized over a long period of time.
That's right.
You're not doing the branding for this year and then changing next year. You're doing that, and so 3 or 4 transactions doesn't have to happen in the next 12 months. It's if you invest in that and it's a good brand. Like I certainly know realtors who did that in their first year. They're now 20 years into the business, and that branding still persists with little tweaks and modernization. But but that's a long payback period for that investment. So
I think probably the biggest challenge that I had with the branding, and it was such I was on the fence about this. About what do I call my team, right?
Yeah.
And everybody, the branding experts, and yourself, and Kat, and a bunch of others in marketing, they're all like, well, it has to be your name.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually been a bit of a detriment is adding team members, some of the more senior ones, but I think it's working well, and I just stuck with that. I think I want it to be my team, and that's the way it is. So.
It is one of those things where I think people often underestimate the amount of time it's going to take to find the right team members, and I'll say the same thing that you and I sort of chatted about when we were chatting about that particular topic is that. If that is something that's holding someone back from joining the team, then it's probably not the right team member anyway, right? And so I think that's where you want to establish the brand that's going to kind of speak to what you're looking for here, which is, listen, I'm calling the shots here, right? And you talk about some of the bigger agents I've known over the years in the Royal LePage system. Mark Ferris, it certainly hasn't held him back. He's kind of on to open his own brokerage now, which is the Ferris Group, and I think there are 200 agents in Barrie now. Right. So, you'll certainly feel that pressure early on, but I think as you continue to grow, it'll be great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. No, I love it. So. Talk to me about some of the other ways, other than sort of database and this Facebook group. Do you do anything else? Are you like farming a particular area? Are you, it sounds like you got, the branding that's going on, and it looks spectacular. And with that comes a website. What other ways in which you're generating business?
So I do, because again, my background is print media, so I still like the ink on paper, the direct mail. I was a direct mail specialist in Toronto, and. So I like to do those. So I do 3 farm areas, Kennetville, Wolfville, and the Hansport area where I live, Avonport area. I started taking a little bit step back in the transition, because I have new branding. So they're about to go out in the next couple of weeks. We're going to have a fresh group of postcards going out. And also my new team member, we're established a farm area for her. Excellent. Her name's Rosalie. And so Rosalie is going to start now working her farm area through direct mail and things like that. So we do that. We also do big supporter of the Royal LePage Shelter Foundation, as you probably know, and back-to-back award winner in the Valley for the top contributing agent there. So do a lot of things with Chrysalis House and Royal LePage events. And some personal events as well, so client events and things like that. So that's how we keep in touch mainly.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. That's all good stuff for sure. So, okay, perfect. Well, why don't we take a break here? We'll get set up to play some pool, and we'll see how badly I get beaten.
Oh boy, I don't know. So, the opposite probably.
So, Okay, cool. All right, Kevin, here we go. Let's see how we do here on the table.
See what you got.
So, okay, so one of the things that I'm really interested with you is I know what your daily schedule is like. Oh God, what do you do to relax, man? Like you're up at 4:30 in the morning and going hard until the end of the day. There's got to be some relaxation in there, or else you're going to burn out. So what is it that you do to relax yourself?
So funny enough, relaxing for me is not like most people. Yeah. So like you said, I'm up early. Maybe not 4:30, but 5.
Okay.
And first thing I do is I head down to my home gym.
Yeah.
And I do a workout.
Yeah.
And it's it's relaxing to me because it's the probably the only time of the day where the phone is not ringing.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming to see me. Yeah. So yeah, I get that in, and what it also does is it supercharges me for the day. So like I'm ready to roll, right? Pardon the pun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm going to go way down there, Matt.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm going to call that anyway. But so no.
Oh.
So that's the one thing I do, and then the other thing I do, as you know, from last night.
Yeah.
I like to ride, have a Harley Davidson motorcycle. I like to ride that around the Annapolis Valley and
that's cool.
All the coastal rides and stuff. And I can do that quickly. Like, if I get home at 7 or 8 o'clock, I can hop on for an hour or so.
Get a little ride in.
Yeah, do a little spin around.
Yeah,
so
that's great. And there's some beautiful rides, I'm sure, down the valley. That's for sure. So yeah. Some rough roads, I imagine, as well. Like,
a lot of rough roads, and this year in particular was terrible for potholes.
Yeah.
So you do have to watch that.
Yeah,
you're not setting me up much here.
I'm trying not to. That's the plan. Yeah, that's the plan. So, yeah, tell me about that. Like, you also are, like you find time to exercise. You find time for that. Like, how much of a priority is that in your world as well? Like,
so the exercise is non-negotiable.
Right.
So that's just what I do.
Yep.
The motorcycle riding is fit in when it can happen.
When it can happen. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just too busy and I can't even get out, for an hour a week.
Yep.
Other times I can do quite a few. So.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Are you? I know you've done a bunch of different coaching, including with Katrina and other people that I know well. But talk to me about the stuff that you do sort of for professional development too. Oh, that's the first time I've done that on camera. Not good.
You want to take another shot?
No, you go ahead. Your ball there. So yeah.
Professional development. So I do, when I can, take part in some of the Great Royal LePage programs.
Yeah.
So I'm signed up right now with the Investors Edge
Yeah.
program. So that's
Yep.
something I was super interested in, and income properties and things like that.
In general,
I've sold some multi-units and have one on market right now. So I do that. Constantly reading sales stuff because with
do you have a go-to book? What's your recommendation for a go-to book? Do you have one that you love?
I don't have a go-to anymore.
I did a podcast or anything
years ago, but I just sort of always refreshing on stuff, right? Because it's a lifelong process, sales, and it's always changing too. I mean, the basics are always going to be the basics, but like with social media these days, right? Like selling through social media. Years ago, that's something I got off of because I found it was just bogging down my time. I was spending 2 hours a day, and I was already at the top of my profession there. It wasn't going to give me any more business.
Yep.
But now, that's a whole business unto itself, and we have AI coming now. So I do a lot of research on AI. We're actually using ChatGPT a lot in my business now.
Cool.
And
maybe let's talk about that. What are you using ChatGPT for at this point?
So ChatGPT, I found what I really like to use it for is my property overviews.
Of course,
So what I do is, I take a bullet point form list that I write, and I put that into ChatGPT, and then Michelle, my admin, she had actually taken all of our website content that was created by the branding company, and we dumped that over a whole day. She did into ChatGPT.
Nice. Yep.
All of that content.
Love it.
And we called that the Kevin Scott Real Estate Voice.
I love that. Yeah,
so now what I do, I'll put my bullet point list for the property overview into ChatGPT, and I'll say, depending on the property, I might say, write me a luxury Nova Scotia real estate listing based on these points in the Kevin Scott Real Estate Voice. And it'll spit me out like a beautifully written thing. You still have to check it. Because it does make mistakes. So we we have to check it. So, but most times, I mean, it's pretty clean a lot of times.
And are you using it for social content as well? Like, are you blogging or anything like that? Does it write any of the...
right now, the branding company M Industries in Toronto is They're doing all.
Ooh,
I don't
nice.
think that's going to count.
Oh no.
Nah, you go ahead. I smashed that out every ball on the table.
Generous.
So they're right now writing my blogs, but we do dump those into ChatGPT because that then creates more of the Kevin Scott real estate voice, right?
Oh, God, again, it's all you, bud. I'm struggling today. Okay, so there you've got them writing that for you. So that's part of the package that they put together for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll use also ChatGPT for open house, feature sheets and things like that.
Yeah,
so
cool.
Writing content.
It's great.
Not yet there, like just to dump in the images. So we still do that in Canva, but it's getting close.
Yeah, it's getting close,
really close.
Yeah, that's cool.
We're not jumping balls, are we, Matt?
You do whatever you need to do, my
I
friend.
might
So
end up taking the camera out.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. You want me to do it?
I needed to be hard
They're
here.
calling me to do it, Matt.
Yeah. Oh, that was well done.
I hit the ball at least.
Well done. Yeah, well done. Yeah. Well, I need to get on a bit of a run here, I have to say, because it's looking ugly over here. Yeah, so tell me a little bit as well, like you're on the road as much as you're on the road. What are you listening to while you're on the road there?
Sadly, I'm big into the stock market and cryptocurrency. So I listen to Bloomberg on satellite radio
Nothing wrong with
nonstop.
that. That's great. Yeah.
But that's most of my day. But I'll cycle through news, current events. I like to keep up on current events and things like that. And then when it's not that, it's I'm old school. I like First Wave on Sirius XM. The 80s music. And
Cool.
sometimes when I'm working out, it's a little bit of the harder stuff.
Yeah. Oh, very good.
Yeah.
And are you a crypto investor?
I am.
Are you? Yeah.
Yeah. I did invest 4 years ago. I invested, and then the whole market took a dive.
Yeah.
But I just sort of, I just left it alone. I didn't sell it. I said, one day it'll come back.
Yep.
It had already lost.
Yep.
So I just hung on there, and then all of a sudden, 6-7 months ago, some of my crypto I woke up one morning and it was up 400-500%.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
So, but it's super volatile. I don't recommend it for people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you got Bitcoin at $1,000 a coin way back when, then that's one thing. But
yeah, definitely there's some unpredictability there for sure. So just sort of on the investment topic, do you have any investment properties? Sort of a traditional real estate agent thing to do?
I don't yet, but I am in the process of subdividing my acreage.
Okay.
And I want to build 3 slab-on-grade duplexes to rent to seniors is my plan.
That's really cool.
So that'll be down the road a little bit.
And how did you decide that was the path?
Just because I had the land, right?
Yeah.
And when you're doing things like that, the land can count as your down payment, right?
Yep.
So I thought, well, that's a no-brainer. I can do that, and they're not making any more land, so I didn't want to come out of pocket to buy more land.
Totally.
Right?
Yep.
Oh,
that's lucky for me because it was looking pretty bleak here, Matt.
Yeah, but investing in income properties is definitely on my horizon.
On your radar as well.
I know you do a lot of that, and I would really like to get more into that.
Well, we've always sort of taken the opinion that the sales business was
Operating company. Oh, geez. That's terrible. And then, we need something that's sort of a long-term buy and hold as well, or build and hold. And so we took the angle of build and hold, and that's been great so far. But
right.
Yeah. It's, take some of the volatility out of our lives of how's the market this year or not, right? So
I've got too much runway here, Matt.
It's okay. I need that.
Scratch. Yeah. Oh no.
That could be long-term help for me. Let's see. I might actually bust a little bit of that up.
try and be a little bit offensive here.
Stay out of there. Stay out of there. Stay out of there. Stay out of there. Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Nice. He's coming back.
Trying to come back. Anyway, at least it's getting respectable now. So that's step one. Let's try and go in this corner over here with that one.
Okay.
Life's easier for you all of a sudden.
Maybe.
Oh, well.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, that's all right. At least it's getting closer now, so yeah. So what's on the horizon for you? Next 5 years, if you look at your business, where does it go from here?
Horizon. So I'm also one of these guys that I live and write down my goals.
Yep.
And I try and live them every day.
And in 5 years, I would see my team with 10 to 15 members.
Awesome.
Across Nova Scotia.
Yep.
And GCI of $2 million would be the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big goal.
And I want all of my team members to
be productive.
To have a big chunk of that, right? Yeah. That's what I'm in it for.
Oh no!
Is that a scratch on the 8 ball?
Scratch on 8 ball, yeah.
And look at the setup you left me anyway.
The setup is great there anyway, yeah. Oh, there you go. Well, congratulations, sir. Yeah, you've had an amazing career, and you took me down here too, so I appreciate that. Yeah,
appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks, pal. It was a lot of fun, and I appreciate it, and look forward to watching you over the next few years.
Thanks, man. I appreciate all your support too.
Oh, of course, man. Anytime, yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.